Well, a whole lot going on, huh? I'll just do a little overview of this so far. I already did, I think, two videos on this business of Michael Keaton and the Flash and all that. Um, and then it just keeps on going. So a lot's going on. Of course, they're building into something, and I think it all flows out of Snyder Cut and that sort of thing. But also just the idea of instead of just abandoning the franchise of the DCEU and all that, AT&T has decided to build on what they've got. There's a lot of debt accrued from Warner Brothers as a result of this, and you put all this investment in this footage and you're not going to use it? No, 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 no. And then, of course, the debt that AT&T bought when they bought it, and they've got to figure out ways to pay that off and all this sort of, and this is what they're betting on. Primarily, the goal of HBO Max is huge on that, and so that's where we are. So, Michael Keaton, the idea that he would reprise his role as Batman and appear in the Flash movie. Well, what does that mean? Is he replacing Ben Affleck's Batman? Is that what that is? I suppose that's possible if they wanted to work it out that way. I would not be all that happy about that. Because the other rumor is Ben Affleck will be back as Batman for an HBO Max series to complete the script that he wrote, and it would be turned into a miniseries of the Batman versus Deathstroke story and all of that. And the best outcome for Michael Keaton would be a movie or series for HBO Max. Maybe that's what they would do, that a live action version of Batman Beyond. Apparently this was discussed some time ago, but Warner Brothers didn't think there was enough interest in that version of Batman to pursue it. I think that was unwise. But either way, AT&T seems to think the same, and there might be something to that, so that perhaps, just perhaps, Michael Keaton's appearance, if it happens, apparently these are only talks that seems to be true between the camps here. If Michael Keaton agrees to come back as Batman for the Flash movie, that would be possibly a cameo, maybe a little more, or maybe he will play a more serious role in that, in helping the Flash right what went wrong with the time warp and Flashpoint and all that sort of thing. And this leaves it open for further exploration of a return to the Tim Burton universe created by the two Batman films that Michael Keaton was involved in. This would not include the other follow-ups. Yeah, it would just be Michael Keaton's version of Batman as he is now, and then introduce the McGinnis character for the Batman Beyond story of a young man being mentored by Michael Keaton. And I think that would be the better outcome of this. And possibly there could be other scenes in the Flash movie that opens up possibilities for other versions of DC characters and stuff. And I'm sure somewhere in there'll be a cameo of utilizing the footage of the Joker movie, saying, see, the multiverse exists, and all that. But as far as Joaquin Phoenix being the official Joker of the DCEU or something like that, I wouldn't want to see that. I suppose they could make it happen one way or another, especially if the Flash movie is this big reboot of everything and everything changes and all that. But if it's just acknowledging the multiverse further, like the TV shows did on the CW, then, fine. The idea, another that was floated, was that Michael Keaton would be brought on to be a Bruce Wayne who is more like Nick Fury is for the Marvel movies, and he would have roles in other DC movies, kind of being a puppet master of events from behind the scenes and that sort of thing. Problem there is, again, that eliminates the Ben Affleck version. But with a time warp, I suppose you could. The other idea is that he would be Thomas Wayne, the Thomas Wayne version of Batman from Flashpoint in that, and we wouldn't get Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which would be too bad. I think that would be a lot better. But it is the point that Thomas Wayne would be considerably older, and maybe that's the way they would go with it. But I don't think so. I think this is more of to acknowledge the all the other properties and to embrace the multiverse aspect of it. And Flashpoint, as even at its end, after acknowledging this other multiverse version of Batman, would leave it open for the Batman Beyond film or series, whatever, for HBO Max perhaps, and that would fit in with there's the mentor character. It would be Bruce Wayne mentoring this young man to be the new Batman in this high-tech suit that he's developed, and there you go. You've got your Batman Beyond film or series, and yeah, that would be a lot better, I think. But the interesting thing about Flash is, well, the jury's still out on whether or not the Flash will be Ezra Miller, because they haven't really spoken to his attacking that woman. He was not charged in that. He has not said any statements on it. So I don't know. I just figured just move along. But then there's other little problems that come out that he's very difficult to work with. The guy has some problems. There's something a little wrong with him. The way he handles himself, and sometimes I think that there has to be some amount of drugs involved. All of that, and that might play into the problems that people are having. I mean, the directors that were supposed to work on the Flash movie all bailed, and it seems Ezra was the problem. Now some of that was that Ezra didn't like the directions they were going. He didn't want to do a comedy and that sort of thing, and that could just be what it is, which is somewhat understandable, and that's not the type of movie he wanted to do, and that really is creative differences. However, I forget the guy's name, but one of them tweeted, and as a response to this Ezra choking the woman, creative differences. So obviously it wasn't just creative differences in that case. He just could not get along with this guy. So if that's a huge problem, he might not be the Flash in the Flash movie. And, you got to explain that with the time warp. No, not really. You just recast it. And not everything has to be the universe swapped because, you got a different actor playing the role. Same thing with Mira. If they got to get rid of Amber Heard, and at this point, even her legal team quit. I mean, she's a problem. More and more, and you might want to just move on with that and recast that role. You don't have to write it in that, she died in between movies. Don't do that. Just recast. You can recast, and you don't have to, again, warp the universe because you got a new actor. I know soap operas do it all the time. People laugh at that, but sometimes it works. And in this case, you don't want that anchor of an actor with such bad press as that dragging your film down and all that. It's just, look, that's the way it goes. If you can't get your act together and behave and all that and not bring your mess to work, then you're gone, and that's life. So the other little surprise of who might be in if Miller's out, not for the Flash movie, I don't guess, but Ryan Reynolds once again rumored to return as Green Lantern for a cameo in the Snyder Cut. This had been rumored earlier, and I did a video on it and said, well, that might be interesting and whatnot. The Green Lantern film was not very good. It bombed. It has a massive plot hole in it and how Green Lantern saves the day when it should have been obvious to all the entirety of the Green Lantern Corps to figure out that you could just throw Parallax into a star. The universe has got a lot of stars. They had plenty to choose from. But only Hal Jordan could figure that one out. So that's a big problem with it. There's other problems with it, but I don't think Ryan Reynolds is one of them. I thought he did very well. Mark Strong as Sinestro was spot on. And he's now Dr. Sivana in the Shazam movies, but what the hell? With the makeup and stuff, he could do both. So that would be cool to have him back as Sinestro. And but the idea here is that Ryan Reynolds would be Green Lantern in the Snyder Cut. I don't think he was originally, but there was supposed to be this scene at the end of Justice League where Bruce Wayne encounters the Green Lanterns. And I think it was rumored that it would have been like Kilowog and Tomari and maybe a Hal Jordan in there. There was an actor named Sam Benjamin people suspected might have been the Green Lantern in there. And that sort of thing, and I think it's just a quick scene. I don't know if there's any conversation between them or what, but is they're aware of the problem with the, Steppenwolf and Darkseid and all that. And so that scene will be in the Snyder Cut version of it on HBO Max. And so, who will be the Green Lanterns? And now it looks like possibly Ryan Reynolds will be Hal Jordan, appearing to Bruce Wayne in that scene. And then this becomes an offshoot to the long-delayed Green Lantern film, often rumored back and forth. The best outcomes, he said, it was going to be some kind of buddy cop like film in space where Hal Jordan is mentoring a young John Stewart. And then the idea, I believe, was Hal Jordan dies in that movie and John Stewart basically becomes the Green Lantern of the DCEU going forward. And that might be a way to do it. And maybe that would be involved. There's going to be a Green Lantern Corps series on HBO Max. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be kind of almost like an anthology of sorts, where they focus on this Green Lantern and that one, and they through the seasons of it. I don't know if that would play into this or not. I don't know if the CW version of John Stewart would be a part of that. With multiverse, well, anything's possible. But perhaps out of this, based on the popularity of Zack Snyder's Justice League and how well it performs on HBO Max and all of that, they could follow through with the Green Lantern project with Ryan Reynolds back as Hal Jordan, and then introduce their John Stewart character, and there they go. That could be an outcome for that, but for the moment, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, that would mean Ryan Reynolds is Green Lantern for that version of Justice League. I don't know if that means he's involved in the follow-up. Again, should the Snyder Cut prove a success, and then they will follow up with the other two stories that were supposed to come for Justice League 2 and 3, where they go to Apocalypse and all that. Was Green Lantern supposed to be a part of that? And would that be the Hal Jordan Green Lantern, or by then would it be the John Stewart Green Lantern? Because in between you could have the Green Lantern story of them two, and then Hal Jordan is out, or what have you. He's dead. However they want to form that, and then there you go. The other character being Martian Manhunter, which is already pretty much established. That spoiler is out there. General Swanwick was, yes, Martian Manhunter. And he's supposed to be revealed in that as well. So then there you go. He's now part of the team. So maybe he will go to Apocalypse with him too in the follow-up to try to take down Darkseid. And spoiler, it doesn't end well for them. That's why there's a Justice League 3 or a season 3, depending on how they're going to do this with HBO Max. And we'll see. So there you go. That appears to be the elements as it stands. I would have thought Ryan Reynolds was a long shot. I thought it was an interesting idea. Apparently Deadpool is in limbo, which is rather surprising considering how popular and successful that was. But apparently Feige and crew are not too crazy about Deadpool. But a business decision. I didn't particularly care for Deadpool either. I know, shocking. But the thing's very popular, and if I'm in charge of that, give me another Deadpool, So I don't know what that's all about, but if that's the case, Ryan Reynolds says, all right, I'll jump ship, or he could do both, which apparently Michael Keaton will be the Vulture and Bruce Wayne. But it's doable, isn't it? Yeah. So there we are. Still all rumors, but a lot of it has a sense of credibility to it in that it kind of makes sense about how you can make this work. So there you are, and that's my little 10 cents on the whole matter. All right. Thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.